Free agency's here. Trade deadline's looming in the MLB, so it's kind of just on the mind.
Yeah, it's there.
Everyone requesting trades.
Yep.
What's an NBA trade that you would like to see happen?
Yeah, so, we know the Dame trade's going to happen. The Harden trade's probably going to happen. Who knows where those guys end up. Some of them we have a kind of good idea. Another guy that has kind of been in trade talks over the past couple of years but still hasn't been moved is DeAndre Ayton. I was thinking, what team needs an elite big guy that could possibly push them over the hump? And it's funny you bring up LaMelo Ball. I was thinking the Charlotte Hornets. I think they have tremendous guard play, some good forwards too. I think a guy like DeAndre Ayton, granted, we haven't seen him play without Chris Paul in a couple of years. The first few years wasn't looking like DeAndre Ayton was going to translate to the NBA too well. Chris Paul comes in and makes him an elite big because of his playmaking ability. We're going to see that one way or another this year without DeAndre Ayton play without Chris Paul, whether he's in Phoenix or not, unless somehow he gets traded to Golden State, which I don't see happening. But if he can take what he learned playing with Chris Paul, take that to Charlotte, play with LaMelo Ball, good playmaker, as we said, I think you can see a legit contender start to build with Charlotte. And, the Hornets, I was looking at it to make the money work. You give up Gordon Hayward, who's kind of on the back half of his career. Probably have to give up a couple picks to Phoenix, but I think they could make it work, and I like that move.
I think that would be interesting because you'd have when you go to Charlotte, you're getting LaMelo Ball, who is a pretty similar player to Chris Paul, but can score a little bit better with it. The one thing I've never liked about Ayton was just his rebounding, and watching him try and rebound in the playoffs was brutal because they were getting killed on the boards every single game, and much in part, in my opinion, was because DeAndre Ayton was not really controlling it down low. But I think Ayton that would be fun. I think that Hornets team is a fun team.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
One that I went with, and I thought you were going to take my player when you said a guy that's been, because I thought about doing Ayton. But I don't know. I think with what they're doing in Phoenix, I think Ayton could stay there.
He could definitely stay there and fit. But I just wanted. There's been a lot of talk about Ayton. I just wanted to see if there was a team out there that could fit. And I saw Charlotte. I was like, you know what? This could be a contender here with Ayton.
I like the deal. Another guy though that's been in trade rumors a lot, Pascal Siakam.
Yeah. Yep.
And I wanted a team that really needed, because it originally had started out, I can't even remember what team I was looking at, but I was like, man, they really could use a forward. I think I might have been looking at the Timberwolves because of Anthony Edwards. But I didn't want to go with him to the Timberwolves because, whatever. So I put him on a team that was a 3 seed in the West last season, lost in the playoffs. I got Pascal Siakam to the Sacramento Kings. I think that would be a lot of fun. You look at Siakam average. He's coming off, in my opinion, the best season of his career. 24 points per game, nearly 8 rebounds, nearly 6 assists. Shot 48% from the field. A deal for Siakam, it would probably cost a little bit of your future.
Yeah, it would be a couple firsts at least.
But you're looking at a lineup that would be De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Huerter. I think you move Keegan Murray to the 3 instead of Harrison Barnes. I think you put Barnes to the bench. Keegan Murray at the 3, Siakam to the 4, and Sabonis manning the middle. That's a great lineup.
That's a good lineup, and that's a good lineup that, as long as you can get money to work, it's a good young team that you can keep around together. We've seen this recent resurgence, especially last year, of the Kings in the playoffs. That wowould really push them over the top too. And another contender, they're already a contender in the West, but even more so now, that would be fun to watch.
I think if you're in the West and you've got a team like this, you got to do something to make sure that you can compete.
Absolutely.
If you want to compete with Phoenix and their big 3, if you want to compete with any of the other teams in the West and what they're going to be doing, you got to make a big move. And I think that this is the deal that I kind of put together, kind of just baseline. I think you take Malik Monk. I think you take Sasha I don't know. It's the rookie they drafted this year. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his last name. I think you take your 2025 first-round pick, your 2026 first-round pick, and your 2027 second-round pick. I think that would be more than enough to trade to the Raptors, because I think the Raptors are kind of entering their rebuild. They lost Freddie VanVleet. Mm-hmm. So, I think this would be good. Plus, you look at the bench, you'd have Davion Mitchell, Harrison Barnes, Chris Duarte, who they just traded for, and Alex Lynn. It's a 9-man rotation that you can run out every single night.
Yeah, and we've seen past years how important the depth is in the NBA, especially in the playoffs. If you don't have it, you're going to be hurting a lot, and it's going to be tough to win. That's a good deep rotation there for the Kings.
I really think that deal would just put this team over the top and make them a legit contender. Light
see.
the beam.
Yeah, we'll see if GMs are watching and taking our advice. They should be, in my opinion, but we'll see what happens.
So as well.